Alright, so, well, we really appreciate the government coming up with an attempt to fight gender inequality, but we strongly believe this is not the approach that we are looking for. They basically have only one argument saying that if and when we do encourage the other gender to participate in the dominated fields by the other gender, they will encourage diversity and perspective. And also they mentioned that if more women join a certain field that is dominated by men, this will create women leadership. Now we have refuted all these points in our previous speeches, now we would like to summarize it for you. Well, this diversity and perspective that they're talking about should not come from our monetary grants just for you to study a field. This is also possibly subjected to abuse in a case that a man or woman would take up a course of study just for the money. And we don't know if it's an actual passion, and they might just end up working another job that is unrelated to the field after they have graduated. This, ladies and gentlemen, wastes the state's money. The second one is that they say, well, if we do have more women, we will have more women leadership. Well, we are strongly against this idea. It approaches the problem on a very surface level. Yes, we might be able to encourage more women to join a certain field, but we do not change the mindset of their peers who are males. They will only look upon the women and further conclude in their minds that, okay, you are here because of the money, okay, you are here because you were encouraged. These encouragements in turn actually backfires and backlashes on the women who are actually strongly passionate and able to do these jobs. And without changing the mindset of the peers, it only worsens the problem of gender inequality. Well, we would also, as have stated in our arguments, this is to us a form of gender discrimination when we encourage a certain person just because of their gender. Well, also, what about the people who don't identify themselves as traditionally males or females? What kind of perks do they get? Do they really get these bonuses? Will this create discourse? We would like to reiterate that we suggest giving grants and encouragement based on ability. And we also suggest that in order to create gender equality in studies, we encourage all children to take up the field of study they feel the most passionate about, regardless of their genders. Thank you very much.
Before the Prime Minister would like to get to his argument, the Prime Minister would like to point out one contradiction in the refutations of the opposition. The opposition team member said that these incentivization would not increase the number of workforces in general into these fields of studies. And as the Prime Minister has suggested that this is apparently not going to increase. So this is one contradiction that the government team has seen in this refutation. And moving into the arguments of the government team, there are two critical things that the government team would like to reiterate. But the most important one is that in all of these actions and all of these incentives, the government would like to point out to the importance and emphasis on representation. The opposition team has mostly understood this incentivization through the merit-based scope. But we have to understand that by keeping the establishment as it is, with a lot of male-dominated figures in the top kind of figures and seats in society, we are perpetrating a male-centered society, or in other words, patriarchal society. The best example for this is as the mention of the concept of male gazing in media. By letting photographers, letting filmographers, letting television executives, CEOs being male, they will center more on anything that they personally have felt and personally feel more favorable to watch. This is a definition of merit. The definition of merit is not stable through all of the history of the world. And for now, the government team sees that it is a male-centric establishment. By allowing more women, more female participants into the fields of studies, we are allowing the world to become more representative of societies today, not a skewed discourse, a biased discourse towards any single gender. Perhaps one way to see society is that female inherently have their own feminine needs, but by allowing only women's studies to be male figures, that would create a contradiction on its own. And it is representation that the government team would like to emphasize here, not, well, the loose definition of merit that is malleable within time that the opposition team is trying to refer to. And for the record, the government team did not talk solely about monetary grants. It clearly states that it is an example rather than our sole focus of, well, incentivization. There are many other ways to incentivize. So the government team would like the opposition team to understand that this is not the sole focus. The monetary grant will not be the sole focus of what the government team refers broadly as incentivization. Thank you.
Thank you so much for voting to debate. I think now it's time for the master of ceremonies to be back on the stage. Thank you so much.